Straight ahead on OC News, faculty at Cal State Fullerton and the other 22 CSUs are voting on whether to strike. We'll have details on why there may be a teaching standstill.
And taking a nap on the grass on campus is getting harder to do. Not because of noise, but rather because grass is being replaced by drought-resistant landscaping.
And NBA superstar Lamar Odom is alert and doing much better. And in weather, Joel?
Will we be getting some rain to help with this drought? I'll have your weekly forecast coming up.
I'm Falak Janga with Entertainment News. Lamar Odom has miraculously recovered and Star Wars pre-sale tickets go on sale tonight. I'll have more on this and more coming up.
Welcome to OC News. I'm Adrian Islas.
And I'm Jared Brass. OC News is brought to you by broadcasting journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
Voting has begun on whether or not Cal State Fullerton faculty will strike. Voting on campus has begun online, while voting on the other 22 CSU campuses is also taking place. The issue is over salary increases. The faculty's union is asking for a 5% raise. The chancellor's office is offering a 2% increase. We now turn to OC News reporter Kimberly O'Neill, who has the latest.
23 Cal State universities will be possibly going on strike. Today they start voting to see if they can get a 5% increase instead of the 2.6% that they were offered. So I went around campus to ask students what their opinion was about it.
I think that's unfortunate. I think that, the teachers should get the money that they deserve. We pay a lot of money to go here as students, so, what's a school without teachers?
I think, the teachers striking, I think they have a right to, because they do put in a lot of work to making sure that we as students are educated. They spend a lot of time outside of the classroom that we don't always see to make sure that we are getting the best education that we're paying for. So I think if they're going to strike, then they should do it if it'll help them.
The Fullerton College Police Academy has been suspended due to compliance issues. Now 42 students are wondering what to do. An informational meeting was held Thursday night. The students voiced their opinions and frustrations. Some worried that the credits are useless and not transferable. Students wonder why it took so long for them to be notified of the suspension. They were told that the state and college had been in communication about the compliance issues since September, and the suspension would begin on October 5th. Police academies are usually reviewed every 3 years, but the state agency didn't review the Fullerton Academy for 6 years because of staffing. It will now take 1 to 2 years for the academy to be reinstated.
And switching topics now, the drought continues in California. As conditions become more severe, more and more property owners are doing their part to reduce water usage. Cal State Fullerton has turned to drought-resist landscaping, and our own Sunim Rivas has more.
Brown is the new green at Cal State Fullerton. As the city's second largest water consumer, CSUF had to act quickly and in a cost-effective way in order to meet Governor Brown's executive order to reduce water usage by 28%.
Our primary strategy for reducing water usage immediately and at lowest cost was to turn off irrigation to major areas of turf.
By simply turning off the water to 11 acres on campus, Cal State Fullerton was able to reduce water usage by 30%. The next step in water conservation involves the use of smart water meters.
So for example, I can zone in even all the way down to the baseball field. So I know exactly how much water that we're spending using that's going just towards the baseball field alone. And the reason it's a smart meter is because it has a cellular device in it that actually sends out a text message at night and sends it to my computer and my dashboard, and I can see down to the 5-minute interval how much water is being used, when it's being used, what time of day, how often.
Cutting and monitoring water usage has proven effective.
Our goal is 28% that we need to be reduced by February of 2016. And right now, since starting in June, we've reduced to somewhere around 46% month over month.
46% translates to 34 million gallons of water in just 4 months. CSUF has done such a great job at saving water, they now face a new challenge.
Stormwater is actually a problem on campus where we have too much of it and not enough capacity in the city of Fullerton's downstream system. So we're investigating ways of maintaining that water on campus and potentially either reusing it to water landscapes or using it in processes, like if we can treat that water and then maybe use it in labs.
In a state currently suffering from severe drought, an abundance of water is a good problem to have. For OC News, I'm Sunem Rivas.
It looks like we might be getting a much-deserved break from the heat. Here's Joel Valdez with a look at weather.
You're right, Jared. The temperatures are finally starting to cool off. Let's take a look outside here in Fullerton. We currently have a temperature of 74 degrees with humidity of 52%. And at least we're going to get a little bit of the breeze today at 12 miles per hour. And we will be experiencing a low tonight of 61 degrees after the sun sets at 6:14 p.m. Let's look at this week's forecast. As you can see here tonight, today was 75 degrees was the high. We do have a slight chance of thunderstorms, which will definitely be welcomed over the Southland. Starting tomorrow, Tuesday, we do go up to 75, and the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, also going up to 75. And the lows will be in the 60s every night in case you want to go out this evening for a walk. Looking up forward to our national forecast. And looking across the national forecast today, we do have on the West Coast a nice and cool, mild 78 in Los Angeles. Everything not only bigger in Texas, also hotter. As you can see, 85 in San Antonio. And the East Coast here all bundled up tonight in the low 50s. And also, we do have some snow in Mexico. Mexico, New York, that is. The city's residents woke up this morning to some unexpected early snowfall. Other parts of central New York also received snow today. This is definitely a nice way to get ready for the upcoming holidays. Hopefully some of that New York snow makes its way over to us here in California and on the West Coast. Overall, a nice change of pace, and we can start replacing those t-shirts with some hoodies as we move towards the middle of fall. Back to you guys.
Kobe's on the bench, yet the Lakers still win.
And coming up for entertainment, The Martian loses its #1 spot. See what movie stole the title.
You are watching Titan TV.
It's what powers our journey to reach unimaginable heights. It fosters a sense of yearning to create, explore, and soar. It strengthens our will to climb to the top. It's the bedrock of our conviction that nothing's impossible. It transforms us and sets us free to thrive and build lives of purpose. Titan pride is at the heart of who we are.
The state of Hawaii declares a state of emergency because of homelessness. Here's Allie Wilson with more on this story and other national news.
Hawaii is a place many go to kick back, relax, and enjoy the good life. But for others, it's a land of struggle. That's why its governor on Friday signed an emergency proclamation to tackle homelessness in the state, saying the measure will help turn around the lives of young and old. Homelessness remains a serious issue in every county throughout the state, Governor David Ige said in a press release. At 465 people per 100,000 citizens, the Aloha State has the highest rate of homelessness per capita of any of the 50 states, according to Scott Morshide, the governor's point person on this issue. Hawaii's population is about 1.36 million, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. The alarming increase in unsheltered individuals and families over the past 2 years is particularly significant on Oahu, Morshide said of the state's most populous island. This proclamation will expedite the state's plans to help these individuals and families to more quickly transition to permanent housing. Specifically, the emergency proclamation allows the spending of over $1.3 million to fund homeless services and help set up permanent homes for families and the chronically homeless. The latter effort will include building a transitional housing facility for homeless families. This comes just a month after Los Angeles City Council declared a state of emergency on homelessness and called for $100 million to address the crisis. Figure from the LA Homeless Services Authority found that homelessness has increased 12% in 2 years in the Southern California city. In our next story, the nation's second largest school district has been hit with a $1 billion class action lawsuit alleging its conducts witch hunts against older teachers in a shrewd effort to save money on retirement benefits. This is the largest class action by teachers in the history of public education, filed by Rafe Esquith, one of the LA Unified School District's best known and most popular teachers. The suit was filed on behalf of about 2,000 teachers, and Esquith's case has gained support of many actors, including Hal Holbrook and Sir Ian McKellen, who are also lifetime fans of the teachers' efforts to bring classic works by Mark Twain and William Shakespeare to low-income immigrant students. Reports state that the LA School Board voted unanimously and behind closed doors to fire Esquith for misconduct. Esquith's suit accuses administrators of abusing disciplinary measures to push out older teachers so the district doesn't have to pay them retirement benefits, including pensions and health care.
A Star begins a much-anticipated road to recovery, and the box office order is shaken. Plus, a fan-favorite movie is set to make its mark this weekend. Let's go to Fallick for details and more on entertainment news.
Morgan makes a triumphant return to TV. Lamar Odom shows signs of improvement, and Goosebumps is #1 with moviegoers. Here's Melissa Rainey with today's Hollywood Minute.
Laughter was the best medicine for Tracy Morgan as he returned to NBC's Saturday Night Live this weekend. The comedian was seriously injured in a 2014 car accident that left one person dead. He suffered broken ribs, a broken nose, and a broken leg. Still, Morgan used his appearance to poke fun at himself.
People were wondering, can he speak? Does he have 100% mental capacity? But the truth is, I never did. I might actually be a few points higher now.
Welcome back, Tracy. Former NBA star Lamar Odom showed some signs of improvement this weekend, briefly waking and speaking. Odom has been hospitalized since Tuesday when he was found unconscious with drugs in his system at a legal brothel near Las Vegas. Sources say Odom suffered serious damage to his vital organs.
No, don't open it!
At the box office, teen thriller Goosebumps took the top spot on its opening weekend, bringing in $23.5 million. The Martian came in second with $21.5 million, and Bridge of Spies rounded out the top three with about $15 million. For Hollywood Minute, I'm Melissa Rainey.
In addition to this weekend's box office, a new film about Apple's founder Steve Jobs is making waves. The movie received criticism from Apple's current CEO Tim Cook and some of Jobs' family members. Before even seeing the film, Cook called it opportunistic. The filmmakers defended their portrayal of Jobs at the London Film Festival on Sunday. In other words, the force is awakening and you can get your tickets tonight. Or can you? Can't wait to see the new Star Wars film? You may have to wait a bit longer than expected. Tickets for Star Wars The Force Awakens went on sale in Britain today. The demand was so great, online booking systems for most movie theater chains crashed. US fans can still buy tickets tonight. Tickets will go on sale after the film's trailer debuts during ESPN's Monday Night Football game. Star Wars The Force Awakens opens around the world on December 18th. That's all for This Week in Entertainment. Back to you guys.
As if I had any other reason to watch Monday Night Football. So when we return, we'll talk about the New England Patriots and their big win in Indianapolis. We also have the Mets making strides on the road to the World Series. And we've got more Kobe Bryant injury news.
Doing today?
What looks good?
Our special today is shrimp scampi. It's been sitting around for about a week.
Excuse me. What time are you guys leaving? We're gonna rob your house tonight.
Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesa1c.org.
This financial advisor is being accused of committing one of the largest investment frauds in the history of the United States.
I guess we're not going to Aspen. That's fine. You see, I like tennis balls. He likes insider trading. So he's going to jail and I'm going to a shelter. And no, they're not the same thing. Shelters are for good pets that want to be adopted. Jails are for criminals. I've done nothing. Uh-oh. Okay, I stole a cheeseburger once on my dog.
Last night, the New England Patriots conquered the fumbling Indianapolis Colts, and on the road to the World Series, the New York Mets are proving themselves to be worthy contenders. For sports, Donald Edmonds has more.
Thanks, Jared. Sunday night was a good night in New England, not so much in Indianapolis. The Pats squared off against the Colts yesterday, and it was a mix of athleticism and blunders that shut the Colts down. The Pats walked off with a 34-27 victory, with Coach Pagano going before a post-game interview with a ton of regrets about how the game turned out on their home turf. In baseball, the New York Mets had a good night as well. In New York last night, the energy was high as the Mets go into the next few games, only needing 2 more wins to enter into the World Series. It was at Met Stadium, so New York had the home field advantage going for them. First up, David Wright steps up to the bat. He smashes it over center field, over Dexter Fowler's head, giving enough time for Curtis Granderson to make his round to score. Now with Daniel Murphy stepping up to the plate at the bottom of the first, and a runner on second, Murphy sends the ball to the fans for a home run, bringing the Mets to a 3-0 lead. And at the top of the second, the Cubs went up to bat with Chris Coughlin, and he wants to mimic Wright's earlier play. No go. Granderson leaps up to make the catch, destroying any hopes for a Cubs home run. Mets at the bat again at the bottom of the third. Yoenis Cespedes sends a grounder off, allowing Granderson yet again a chance to score for a now 4-0 lead. The Mets continue to shut the Cubs down at the mound, striking out any batter that dared come to the plate. Miguel Montero, Javier Baez, and Anthony Rizzo were all put down in similar fashion. And then at the bottom of the ninth, Coughlin came up once again to bat for the Cubs with too little, too late. He sends a tap over to first, getting called out, giving the Mets a 4-1 victory that brings the Mets closer to the World Series, with their next 3 games being at Chicago. In Laker news, Kobe is told to sit out the next preseason game against the Trailblazers after having suffered a lower leg contusion in last week's matchup with Sacramento Kings. It may end up that Kobe will have to sit out the rest of the season. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that report, Donald. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a kangaroo. A kangaroo made a run, or should I say hop, from home when the owner accidentally left their gate open. CNN reporter Matt Kozar has a story.
A jumping joey on Staten Island. This feisty marsupial prompted surprise calls to 911.
We thought first that was coming from the Staten Island Zoo.
When Urim Usmani and his brother opened up shop Saturday morning at Alb's Auto Repair on Travis Avenue, they saw something hopping around their parking lot.
I see something move. I thought it's a deer.
Police say the kangaroo belonged to a man visiting a friend at this house on Victory Boulevard. They say the pouched pet somehow unlocked a backyard fence and escaped. The kangaroo was on the loose for nearly 10 minutes. Buster the kangaroo came dangerously close to getting hit by a car bouncing along Travis Avenue, a very busy street. Fortunately, he hopped to safety, past the auto body shop. Surveillance video shows the furry fugitive happily hopping back and forth. But Buster's big adventure ended when the cops showed up. They cornered and released him into the custody of his owner, who has since brought him back upstate. 3 years ago, in the same area, a zebra named Razzie and a pony named Casper got loose after their owner left a gate open. The two dashed down Victory Boulevard.
It was something you never see it every day.
A curious kangaroo bringing a bit of Australia to Staten Island. Reporting on Staten Island, Matt Kozar, CBS 2 News.
And that's all for us today at OC News. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter under the handle OC News CSUF.
Have a great evening.
So what do you think about Kobe being